Hey guys, this is Elhane. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, we're going to talk today about champions that don't need any books. Yeah, sometimes it's like, well, not sometimes, all the time I hear it, that books are scarce, it's very difficult to get them. Unless you're doing Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss daily, unless you are like maxing out some of the tournaments where you can get books, they are just so rare, they're so scarce in the game. There's no book farm, there's no kind of book dungeon. Even when you are booking champions and you need them, you should consider a couple of things. Like, do I need to fully book a champion? Yeah, on hellhades.com, we kind of have a, should you book them, yes or no? And then if you land books in certain skills, consider whether you want to continue booking them. An example, if I was to go into a champion like Arbiter, for example. So we all get an Arbiter. Now, I really do want her A3 booked because it's just such a great use of one book. If you make one book land in the A3 like that, perfect. But I'm way less concerned about the A1 being booked. I'm not really that fussed about the A2 being booked. And the A4, if you like, the revive, is a nice to have, but not a necessity. So if I could get away with just using one book on an Arbiter, I'm like that. That's actually great. Gives me a low cooldown on a really great skill. So that's an example. But for this list, we're actually going to go through champions that don't actually need books at all. You can save books for other champions on your roster. And most champions just straight up get better with books, right? They either do more damage, they've got a better chance to land their skills, they become harder to kill, whatever, yeah? So for most champions, booking is the way forward. But for this group, I've got my little book. I'm going to be going through them one by one. These can be run as they come. Okay, so let's go through some epics first. So let's start then with the Orc. The man who basically came back to life when Doom Tower came out. So Vrask is a decent healer, okay? And his healing actually comes from his passive. So heals all allies by 10% of this champion's max HP whenever he crits someone. That's it. Like, nothing else has to happen around his kit to make that work. So you build him high health, but with 100% crits. And he will continuously heal whenever he hits. That's all he's got to do. If you build him in retaliation gear, he'll take a hit. He's got a chance to retaliate. If he retaliates, he'll crit. He'll give you all a 10% of his HP heal. It's actually massive. So he doesn't need books here. This doesn't really do a lot for us. Definitely doesn't want books here. We don't want this cooldown. And we just want to be A1 in all the time. That's basically all he wants to do. So Vrask is like one of the top tier low cost units to build out. Let's move on then to the next one. Actually, yeah, a godlike champion. Again, became more and more used as Doom Tower developed, because every time she gets a turn, irrelevant of anything else going on, as soon as she gets a turn, she will clean one layer of debuffs off your team and she'll give them a heal. All she needs for that to happen is to take a turn. Yeah, so if she's got Relentless gear on, she could take 2 turns. So she could wipe off 2 debuffs. If she's in normal gear, just every time she takes a turn, she's going to do this ability. This skill, useless. This skill, useless. But this skill, or this passive, is actually brokenly good. Like, it's broken good. And you can run her at level 50 as well. So you can run her at 50, you can run her without books, and she is equally as good as if you book her out in full. Okay, let's move on. Next one is an undead champion. Now, I will say on this one, Vogelof, like, don't be upset if you book a Vogelof, especially on his A2. His A2, you gain a bit of benefit from booking. But honestly, for 99% of people play this game, if you're not paying any money into the game, that type of stuff, unbooked is absolutely fine. He doesn't hit hard. Okay, so any books in here which are buffing his damage, you're like, oh, more damage. You could buff it to the moon. He doesn't hit hard. Okay, you could put him in your best savage gear. He doesn't hit hard. So we don't care about these extra bits of damage. What we care about on Vogelof is this passive here. So whenever this champion is attacked, heals all allies by 50% of the damage he receives. That's what we care. So yeah, you can get an extra 30% here on the chance to increase the cooldown of a random skill of an attacker. That's only if you've got Provoke out there. So that clearly doesn't work against bosses. There's only like one boss in the game that you can actually provoke. and that the second part of it won't work anyway. So it's mainly like an arena type thing. I'd say it's pretty pointless. Like if you do book skills, the best area to book here is this extra debuff chance on his provoke. But honestly, unbooked, absolutely fine. Vogelof is a beast either way. Let's move on then to another epic here. This one, I mean, I've spoken about this one in the past. Allure. Now you will see like proper end game allures, like mine actually. She's booked up because I want the damage. Yes, please, I'll take that damage. I'll take this damage. It's an absolute luxury on an allure. For 99.99% people, we don't need the A3. We don't need the A2. What we need is the A1, okay? And the A1 is like broken good. So she's got a triple hit here, decreases the target's turn meter by 25% on each crit. What does that mean? It means I need 100% crit rate. It means I need enough accuracy to do it. Then after that, I just need her fast enough to rotate through to do it as often as possible. And I need her to stay alive. Books don't change any of those things. And these other skills where you would get an extra damage, they can hit for an okay amount. But there's so many stats you've got to already pile into a build that if you then want to try and put damage in it, it's very difficult to do until you've got really end-game quality gear. So Allure, fine without books. Another champion here which we get for free. Actually, I know Ash loves this champion, Dark Elhane. The best part about Dark Elhane is her passive. So, fills this champion's turn meter by 25% and instantly activates Death's Majesty whenever an ally or this person is frozen, and she cleans off the freeze here. So, basically what you do is you activate this A2 of a nuke, and then you smack people in the face. Now, look. Would I like the extra 15% damage? It helps. It's going to hit for hard. It's going to hit hard, all right. I don't care about the damage here, though, really. It's all about this A2. So if I got 2 books here, then I would absolutely stop booking if I was going to book. But I don't feel like you need books at all. The only thing that is kind of tempting here is the reduced cooldown. But then how often are we going to use her where she smacks and she takes a free, she smacks again? If anyone's still alive after that, you've not built her right. Okay, so I feel like Dark Elhane also can get by easily without books. Right, we've got one more epic and then we're going to go into some legendaries. So the last epic here is Madame Suri. Madame Suri with her awesome skins. Oh la la, Madame Suri. Forgot the fabric at the middle of the dress. It's like when someone accidentally tucks their dress into their knickers and it's like, oh, do you realise what you've done? Your bum's out. Anyway, Madame. So Madame has got a great kit, okay? A really great kit. Do I care about 4 lots of damage on the A1? No, I do not. Do I care about a reduced cooldown on the A2? It's a nice to have, but I don't really care about it. You know what I care about? The A3. And if I need it twice, I'm probably going to lose. Right? So, unbooked, it completely removes all buffs off all enemies. It completely decreases their attack. And it decreases their defense. Ready for your nuker to come and smash them in the face in the arena. It's a luxury to book anything on this champion. And it's if you've got books aplenty. The only time I would book a Madame is if I'm planning to use her outside of the arena. And maybe I want to get this on a lower cooldown. So let's just say I was going to use her for like Ice Golem. It's actually pretty good there. Then yeah, fine. But ultimately, that's not a spot. Her spot is a great arena champion or even like a faction war champion. And really she gets by totally fine, unbooked. Okay, let's move on to some of our legendaries. First one up then. Actually, another Dark Elf. Xavier. Great champion, by the way. Really good champion. So Xavier gets a bit of extra damage on her A1. I don't care about that. Her damage actually comes from poison, not really from hits. The A2, I get a little bit of extra damage. This skill hits for a decent amount. So if I'm trying to just make her smack, fine, I get it. But ultimately, what we're using her for is blowing up poisons. So landing more poisons. Well, honestly, she's not the best poison lander anyway. You want somebody else setting her up. if you're going to do poison explosion stuff. And then the A3, she just gets more damage away. Unless you're going super endgame stuff, we don't care about that. All we want to do is blow up poisons which other people are putting out there for us. We don't gain any cooldowns. We don't gain anything we need. So we're just going to use her as she comes out of the packets, and she will be an absolute poison exploding nightmare for your enemy. So yeah, Xavier does the job without books. Another Dark Elf here. Now, this is someone who's a bit more niche. You probably wouldn't build her out normally, but she does have two kind of interesting skills. Now, this skill here is one of the best ways to deal with Stone Skin in the game. Yeah, she attacks an enemy, she places 2 bombs, and they detonate after 1 turn, and they cannot be resisted. You don't need a cooldown on that. It's already going to happen. The hit doesn't hit for that much. What you want is maximum attack, not maximum damage, maximum attack to make sure the bombs explode for the highest amount possible. They can't be resisted, so you don't need accuracy. We don't need the cooldown. If we're lasting another 4 turns, we're dead anyway, and the bomb will go off. Nothing else in a kit makes that much sense, honestly. So why would you book her out? But she is niche. One of the best ways to take out Stone Skin in the game. Okay, next one up. This is a freebie. Everyone gets themselves a Drex, yeah? Drex, oh, what a champion. Actually, really good champion. Really good, really high value for Doom Tower. So the best thing about this guy is that when he is hit, when he takes a hit, he's got a chance of placing a burn on the enemy. Now, in an ideal world, yeah, I'd love 3 books here, because the higher percentage you've got of making that happen, the better. But straight out the packet, he does this when he takes a hit. I don't care about books on his A1, makes no difference to me. The A2 will make him hit a little bit harder and a slightly better chance to provoke, but his provoke is not why you're using him anyway. You're using him for the burns. So the only thing which would benefit him really is this burn enhancement, but still, straight out of the packet, absolutely like top tier champion for most people. And I can't wait to get him on my free to play. I will not be throwing books on him. He will be, as he comes, doing work. Same faction actually, more to macabre. Interesting champion. You notice a lot of these I'm talking about here, they've just got a funky passive which is activating whether or not they're booked. And that's the type of champion you want to be looking for. So more to macabre, guess what? Funky passive. 20% chance to unlock peril for 1 turn when he's attacked. So 1 in 5 chance, whenever he's attacked, he's got a chance to unlock this peril. Peril doesn't need books. It will straight up ignore shields, ignore block damage, and ignore defense. So you build him high damage, high crit damage, and he will just kill anyone. He'll literally kill anybody in the game with this skill, and it block revives. Yeah, all of the books go into here. Honestly, like, block buffs at 90% anyway is pretty damn strong. Yeah, and we don't care about heal reduction. His damage is not that high on the A2 or the A1. It's all about waiting for him to unlock his passive here. So yeah, more to macabre, awesome champion, unbooked. The next one I've never really gotten on with. Okay, probably when I did a review of this guy, it was a seething review. It was awful. We hoped he would be amazing. He looked super cool with these kind of like emeralds coming out of him and stuff. But Samar, oh my lord, an awful champion. Okay, really bad. Really bad. He's got no damage. He needs damage in his kit to really do something that's worthwhile. I'll tell you what he's got, a cool passive. Yeah, and the only reason I'd really use the Samar would be against Bommel. And there's plenty of like solo content against Bommel for this champion. He does not need to be booked to do it. He just needs to get this block damage away on a 4 turn. All the rest of it is just like, yeah, a little bit of extra damage. Well, that extra damage is minuscule because he doesn't hit hard. All of his damage will actually come from his masteries, things like War Master that you'd have on him. So, yeah, this ability, if you're going to use him for either arena defense as an annoying champion or against Bommel, can be done straight away, unbooked. What we got then? 2 more. Actually, 1 more in here. So Morley. Morley is one of the best anti-hedgy arena champions in the game. And it all comes from, you guessed it, her passive. Yeah, so when she is hit by any champion, she fills the turn meter of your team. Yeah, so she pushes forward the rest of your team. It's actually bonkers good, this, in the arena. You can put everybody in immunity sets, so they're not going to take any nasty debuffs. Morley takes a hit. She pushes on your turn meter, and all of a sudden you're in front, and then you're winning the speed race. It's really cool. She's also got a provoke, which you would use after she's taken a hit, so she can lock people out. The provoke cooldown can be reduced, but honestly, again, if you're coming back round to this for a second time, chances are you're not winning the fight. She doesn't do any damage, really. Even if there's HP burners out there, doesn't really do any damage. And the rest of the stuff here don't really care about the cooldowns and stuff. So, Morley unbooked, absolutely fine. So the last one I'm going to call out then is actually a champion who Rats introduced me to for my arena kind of masterclass. By the way, if you've got more that you use currently, you don't book them out, you're happy to run them as they are, please let us know. But last one I'm going to call out here is Yoshi the Drunkard. Okay, he's actually a crazy good champion in a go second arena team. So the reason why he's good is because of his ability to buff your team, right? So basically what happens here is you need to make sure he's in like a stone skin set or something like that so that he doesn't get wiped out. But he gets a 4% turn meter fill for each enemy buff. Yeah, so as they're buffing up, getting ready to nuke, he's getting his turn meter fill. You'll then get his A3 away. And the main thing about his A3 is his buffs, not his true fear. So he increases your attack, increases your accuracy, and he enables some of your kind of high damage. Well, first he enables your debuffers to go with the accuracy. Then he enables your nuker to go with the increased attack. Really useful. He also puts a true fear out. You could book it to get the extra true fear bonus, but honestly, that's not his main purpose. The rest of his kit, we don't really care about. We don't care about it at all. So he does all he needs to do, totally unbooked, and he's actually one of the best in class champions to do it. So there you go, guys. That's a list of champions that you do not need to book. I've been Hell Hades. See you later.